Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dying times here. Yes, that's right, we have the continuation of Blood Bowl 2. This is our second season and our second game of that second season. We are in the first round, first day of the games, and we have, oh boy, what was this name of this team again? I think this is Nurgle's Leftovers. They're the Undead versus the Water Sallies. Coach here is Beer Belly. The other coach is Dustoff. And yeah, this is the fresh team for this year. I think that everybody has all of their players. That doesn't last very long. Everybody gets injured. Somebody gets injured typically after the first game. And so you're gonna hear our other commentator walking around in the background every now and then.
I gotta clean up after Jeff.
Yep, she's cleaning up after my mess. I never noticed there's a bird back there. There's a crow. I guess it's saying nevermore. Alright, so, the Undead, Nurgle's Leftovers are setting up. This is a little confusing because this season we actually have a Nurgle team. So there's Nurgle's Leftovers, and then there's the Nurgle team. Alright, so, they're getting themselves set up, Nurgle's Leftovers. It looks like they are putting one in the back, and having a line in the middle, with some zones on the sides. They got their fast runners. What are they called here on the far side? That is their ghouls on the far side, their fast runners, and stuff on the whites. Guarding there, and with the Skaven, looks like they're leaving 3 in the middle, putting their gutter runners on the sides. I think they have the ball first. Okay, and then they've got they're getting their thrower back there with another. Okay, so it's sort of like a pyramidal setup back there. All right, they're cheering fans. Both teams are inspired. They get reroll. And it goes way off to the side. Oh, so the Water Sallies are going to be able to choose where they want it. They give it to the thrower so they can do their throwing strategy. And they've got... Alright. So now he's going to go way over here to the side, back behind his gutter runners, the ones who are good at dodging and getting out there far. He's going to protect himself here with his Storm Vermin, getting in front of him. And he's going to get himself protected in the rear. He's kind of set himself over there on that side there. Oh, and there, just as we predicted, there goes the gutter runners. And one of the first one trying to run through gets knocked down. They do the re-roll, and he gets on through. So, they've already used up one of their re-rolls, but they have one of them passed there. Alright, and then the next one gets through, so they are having some options to throw. And that is it for turn 1. Alright, Nurgle Leftovers getting themselves set up. They are going to start protecting against those gutter runners, and they are going to knock it down. Yep. He's not particularly strong. It is... Oh, Crumb! This was the Undead Skaven that died last season, has now come back as the Undead and is getting revenge. Now, okay, you got one of the ghouls going over there to protect against there, Stefan the Demon Hunter. And they're going to go up the center there. Oh, the Mummy. Yes, the Mummy knocks back Snowball, or otherwise known as Tom Cruise, apparently. Tom Cruise is going to knock back Snowball and his little friend on his shoulder. And there... Oh, it's probably Groot on his shoulder. Oh, and knocked back Stitch. And now the other ghoul, or not ghoul, zombie, is going to go stumbling through. He's going to eat his own arm. Hey, notice both of these teams in particular, they like to gnaw on their arms. You got the rat gnawing on their arms, and the zombies gnawing on their arms. I guess they just always have the munchies. Alright, so now now that they've knocked out the linemen and basically pushed around the receivers, they are now going to get themselves into protected positions. Now the Skaven are going to push... Whoa, he's going towards the center there. He's going to run around, he's going to get behind his rat ogre, rather than pushing down the center, because apparently the Undead have got themselves protected. They are now going to rush to the other side, and they now have a line there. Yeah, you can see the zombie he's chewing on his own arm, wasn't watching what was happening behind him, and he got knocked in the back. And there goes the gutter runner, and he gets knocked down. Was not able to dodge through there. That's what gutter runners are supposed to be good at, but apparently not this one. So now the Skaven have shifted over towards their right. Oh, and now the the undead are knocking out these their receivers. And our cats are going wild behind us. Oh, and there goes the other gutter runner. He's going to be knocked down. Here's Fleur has come to watch as the players, or not the players, the audience kicks the players that have fallen out of bounds. And now Fleur has curled up on my lap. My cat does not like me narrating without her. Alright. The zombie somehow did a charge. I say somehow because I'm just trying to picture a zombie that walks like this charging. Kind of like, you know, it looks like my drunk uncle. And that was like jazz hands knocking him back. He was like hit him and then did a pose like yeah. Well, the Skaven have a clear, mostly clear view in front of them, but they don't really have many options in terms of throwing. So they're going to clear the rest of the way in front of them. It looks like. Bone Collector is stunned. Owl's Bone Collector. And it looks like they're breaking through in that center area. The undead have kind of gone to the different sides, and the Skaven are racing to the center since they've lost their options to throw it. And they keep their boxes. They run through. It looks like they're going to have their thrower spot try to run it directly into the end zone. And now a passer has gotten himself free. He's out in the open. If the undead cannot check that, they will be able to pass it with to this other player, to Beethoven, who is their star player, or they'll have the option to run it. And meanwhile, they're getting knocked around in the backfield. But this is where the important part is going to happen. Let's see if the undead can stop them anyway. Nurgle's leftovers has their turn. Now these zombies have, after knocking one of the receivers out of the side, are now going to try to get back into this. They're going to cover the receiver that's in that's a little closer in. In the backfield, they're going to knock him around a bit. And it looks like they're going to knock down Baldy. Oh, no, not Baldy. Oh, this was the Riddler? Alright. And with reroll, looks like they might take down the giant rat ogre. Oh, wait. Yeah, okay, it was the mummy that went up to him. But they still have not dealt with the main issue here, which is the thrower in the center with his box. Oh, they knocked down Logan. And now the ghouls have gotten in front of them, and they've stopped the run. But the receiver's still out there. Oh! And there was some bad luck. Nibbler came around to hit the ghoul to get him out of the way, and even with the reroll, he cannot make it happen. He gets knocked down. It goes to the undead turn, and it was looking good for the Skaven, but now it's turned over to the undead, and they're surrounding the thrower. They're gonna just... Oh, looks like all they got was a knockback. They have not, but now they've still got some more around them, so it's looking pretty bad for them. They're gonna put some others around him, and he's not really gonna have anywhere to go, even if he holds onto the ball, which he's not going to be able to. He's getting knocked again. Mr. Jazz Hands has hit him in the back, and the ball goes loose. It's right by the mummy. He's raising his hand, going, "I got it. I'm gonna walk away from it." So Tom Cruise waved that he had it and then moved away. He's going to knock around one of the Skaven in the backfield. That's going to clear their way to being able to make a touchdown. The zombies are now going to amble their way towards the ball and maybe eventually pick it up. And here comes White. He's got it. He has the ball. Thorgrim... Wait, what is his name? Thorgrim the Vanquished has the ball. And they're going to beat up their receiver. That completely takes away that wonderful play that the Skaven had and even injured him, knocked him out. Oh, it is really looking bad for the Skaven. They went from having a clear route to the end zone to now it looks pretty hopeless for them. I think every one of them is down now on the ground. They're slowly getting up, feeling dazed, trying to figure out their way around. Again, kind of like a Saturday night around here. And there goes Spot. Now, actually, they do have a couple of them near that white, so they don't have a turn to hit them, but they are sort of surrounding them, so we're going to be able to see if that white's going to be able to get out of there. And now the receiver gets up, the gutter runner comes around, and he's getting back into position, so if the Skaven can get the ball again, they can throw it to him. Ghoul kicks him in the back. They still have a couple players around that white, but they are thinning out. Oh, and a little bit of good luck for the Skaven. The Undead, one of the zombies came up to, who is that player right there? To one of their tougher players, the Riddler. And Riddler turned around, and then bitch slapped him. And yeah, their big guy's gonna knock one of them down, possibly knock him out of this game. And he's right up next to the ball carrier. So they now have the ball carrier surrounded. And they're gonna knock him down. This ball is gonna be free again while he chews on his arm. The ball is free. You now have a gutter runner, picks it up. Oh, he cannot hold on to the ball. It's now loose again. The Skaven had their opportunity to grab it and score, but they dropped it. They keep having, it is a lot of lost opportunities. Salacious had his opportunity and lost it. He had an opportunity to score there, but that's just been this game for them. And now he's going to get knocked down. Salacious is injured, just like so many others. There are losing players left and right here. In fact, I think most of them have been gutter runners. I don't see any other gutter runners on the field. So they're not. That's their main advantage, is these gutter runner players who can run fast and maneuver really well and dodge everybody. In fact, they technically can score on turn 1 if they get a bonus. And here comes actually the Ghoul almost dropped it, but managed to hold on to it by the skin of his teeth, or the skin of his fingertips. Or the skin of the pig. Okay, and there, one of the Skaven players down the field has now gotten up, and he's going to try to stop them from getting their own touchdown. The Riddler is going to take down Thorgrim the Vanquished. Spot gets in close to the ball carrier. Oh, and they're going to bring in, Crumb was going to bring in another. Oh, actually, Crumb is KO'd. Crumb is, I always mix that up because Crumb was part of the Skaven, but he's now one of the Undead because he got killed and raised by the Undead. But both of them got knocked down. The Skaven were going to try to get in there and get more of a surrounding, more rats surrounding that Ghoul. We're not able to do that. They both got knocked out, or they both got knocked down, but they did manage to knock out one of the Undead players. I've always thought that the people who are knocked unconscious, or the players that were knocked unconscious, should stay on the field because they should be obstacles, or get even more beaten up and possibly killed or something. But it's not the way they have it. All right, now one of the Ghouls tries to get away from Spot. Oh, the ball carrier! Spot managed to trip him. The ball is now free once again. It is out in the open. Can the Skaven get it and get in for a touchdown? It is turn 8. They'd have to do it this turn. Spot has his room, and he gets tripped. Oh, there's another one of those missed opportunities I was talking about. So close, but so far away. Now the Nurgles left over are going to have one more turn, but there isn't really a lot for them to do. Let's see if they do it just to maybe gain some points. Or some experience points. He can't pick it up, and it drops. And there you go. That is the end of this first half. They're going to go into their locker rooms and figure out what to do, but the Skaven are going to kind of look at their regroup and see how few players they have left. There's the dead, quote-unquote dead and injured. Of course, they are undead, so they're all dead. And there you go, 4 players dead and injured, 4 players that cannot come back. One that was knocked out is going to come back, but the Skaven are going to have to do this missing a lot of their players, and some of them are their best players. Of course, this is their first game, so they don't really have a lot in terms of re-rolls and that sort of thing. So yeah, they're getting themselves set up in their defensive situation. They are in very much of a loose zone defense, and the Nurgle, knowing that they have the advantage, are creating a very long, thick line there at the, or not thick line, but a very long line right there at the front. They have a very, it looks like they have a lot of confidence that they can just steamroll through this, and they might be right. I mean, you do have, the Skaven do still have their Rat Ogre, but he's not even at the front. Alright, brilliant coaching on the side part of the Nurgle's leftovers. And the ball has gone over towards their right. The Skaven really had a missed opportunity when they could give the ball to anybody. They really probably should have given it to one of their gutter runners, who could then slip through the opponent's lines. The problem is they can't really get a lot of their defensive players in there. Alright, and now the Nurgle's leftover are going through that front line. The Skaven had their 2 stronger players, the Storm Vermin, up there, but they're just getting knocked through like they're hardly even there. And here it goes right through another one of those Storm Vermin. And he's pushed through. Now that front line is just melted. I guess that's why they have the Rat Ogre on reserve. Oh, and now the pickup has had difficulty, but he used his re-roll, so now Nurgle's leftover has the ball after having to use one of their re-rolls. Those re-rolls are precious. They cost a lot, too. And here goes... You know, funny enough, going into this game, the Skaven had a higher team value, even though Nurgle's leftovers won last season. They were the champions of last season, but the team was not considered that high in terms of team value for some reason. So when it came to this game, they were given some perks to use in this, whereas Water Sallies were not. Not exactly sure how that worked out, but anyway, they've been using it well. And the Skaven have been really missing a lot of opportunities throughout this whole thing. And now they can't even use their Rat Ogre because he is a wild animal. Even though they have a little mouse with a flag at the top with some cheese, you'd think you'd be able to control him with that. Hey, it's kind of like Ratatouille, because that would probably be the guy, the rat on the top, and he is controlling Ratatouille, the rest of Ratatouille. The problem being, and he's even got some cheese stuck in there. Oh, I never noticed that. He's got cheese, or is that a cracker? Some cheese or a cracker stuck inside of one of his spikes. And he even has, you can see Ratatouille at the top. He has a that flag looks like he maybe he's disguising it as a flag, but it may be his puppeteering. But obviously his puppeteering isn't very good because he couldn't get him to move last time. Anyway, alright, so they're continuing to move forward. Anyway, as I was saying before, Nurgle's leftovers did very well last season. They were the champions of the entire season. They won, I think, all of their games. And then they came into this. Oh, and he gets 2 skulls. He got a reroll, and his player goes down. But yeah, the game itself didn't consider them to... It wasn't that impressed for some reason. Water Sallies did okay. They really actually did poorly, but the Seattle Slithers had some really, really bad luck. And Thundernuts, while they did well, they were almost always tying because they're so slow. They're dwarves, so they're so slow they really hadn't scored a lot. And so that's where, it ended up last season. Oh, and the wild animal was not able to move. But they did manage to get the penguin stood up right next to the ghoul who has the ball, and the mummy. Tom Cruise is just going to go through there and knock him down. So anyway, it was interesting how the game just automatically kind of decided what had higher team values. It was not based on who won the season and who lost, but rather just for whatever reason, what teams they thought were good, which I guess makes sense because you you could win the season, but lose players to death and all that sort of thing. Actually, like what happened in the last game this season, where the Nurgle team won, but their star player was killed. In fact, 2 of their players were killed. 2 of their most expensive ones were killed. So you could win the battle, lose the war, so to speak. But it is interesting because the Skaven did lose players. In fact, some of them got killed, but they still were considered to have a high team value. So anyway, back to the game here. Looks like the Undead they're sort of scattered up here. They have a lot of players over here on the left, some on the right. Looks like they've created enough of a box over here, and they even are kind of looking out on the different directions. And they've now placed their player in the middle of that, and the rest of them are just knocking down rats wherever they see them. And here comes the, oh yeah, finally the wild animal comes out, and he's going to knock down one of them ghouls. Carrion Grinder is injured. He's going to bitch slap that guy. He's now created an opening to the player. Oh, and he has jumped up on him. He's jumped right in behind him to the ball carrier. And it's going to be hard to get that rat ogre off of his back because he is a tough... he's really tough, and those ghouls are not the most agile. Oh, and here comes the Skaven trying to get in. He went for it, but he trips, and so it's going to be back over to the 2 Nurgles leftovers. Zombie's going to come strolling in. They're going to probably try to get that rat ogre off of Cranium Basher's back so that he can get out of there, because if he tries to just run, he could get out of there, but he might have some trouble. Especially because the rat ogre has a prehensile tail, which... Oh, Stitch got KO'd. He is now out of this game. That is kind of what the mummy is good at doing. Now they're going to try to clear a path. Ball player. Oh, the ball carrier. He's not going to try to run with it. He's just going to pass it to another player, and that player is going to go running in for the touchdown. He's not quite there yet, but he is very, very close. And they're going to create some kind of guard around him. In fact, they're going to get right next to this player. Oh, another one's going to come up to try, but he's going to get knocked down by the rats. So it goes to the rats, to the Skaven. Can they stop this player in time? They have this one turn to do this. Rat Ogre is going to knock around this guy. Oh, he's taking down Cranium Basher. But the game's getting close to the end, so it really doesn't matter about knocking people out this time, as long as they're not taken out for multiple games. And yeah, here comes... Oh, they're going for... They have to go for it in order to try to catch up with that runner, and they just can't make it. Oh, but they do have a reroll. They're going to use it now. I'm surprised they hadn't used it earlier. Ah, yes, that's right. He's going to get into position. Oh, but it's not into the right position. He's... Oh, and there that's... Now they probably run out of rerolls, and they just were not able to make it to him. And so that blocking worked really well. The Undead have managed to put their blockers there in the perfect position to stop the Skaven from stopping this run. So the runner is now free and open, and the end zone is open to them. They're going to just do a little bit of damage first before they go in. They're pretty confident they can do this damage because, you know, they're much stronger and tougher. And they're probably going to pull some injuries. Oh, and they got to reroll. Yeah, they needed to reroll that one. They could go in for the end zone. If they screw it up here, then it's like they've just destroyed their chance at a touchdown right at the close there. Okay, and they're going to go in around this one, and here he goes in for his touchdown run. Goes diving in, even though he really doesn't need to. Corpse Slicer has a touchdown. And he's gonna attack the cameraman. All silent for the cheerleaders. Alright, I feel like a total pig right now. But, alright, anyway. Don't you know we got a lot of women gamers now? You might want to have some male cheerleaders in there. Just saying. Alright, yep, and 4 of them are still out of it. None of them are dead, but a lot of them are out for an extra game. So they're going to be out for this game and another one. Skaven are just really screwed in this one. But yet the computer still considers them to have a high team value, so who knew? It really just has a lot of faith in rats, I suppose. Undead beaming themselves into position. It looks like they are going to have a zone in the outfield. And yeah, mostly zone, except they're going to have 2 and 2 on the line. The Skaven continue to have a pyramid, and that's about all they have left. Is just a few in the front and leading up to the one catcher. And here we go, perfect defense. So even more luck for the Undead. They're going to be able to put themselves into the perfect position to go and stop this run. Oh, they do have one player that was way out here on the side. Maybe they were hoping that the Undead wouldn't notice. Nibbler was way off on the side for potentially catching it. I mean, they have no gutter runners, which is usually what you do. You usually have the gutter runner have it so they can slip around. The ball did just land right in Spot's arms, so that worked out for them. Now the Rat Ogre is going to just slice through there. He's going to take down Tom Spleen, so now they have cleared... Actually, they've cleared a path in the center. The Undead, with their perfect coaching, put all their stuff in on the side, so now the Skaven are running in through the center. Going to see if they can make any yardage with that. It is only 1-0, and the Skaven are fast, so it is possible for them to tie this game up. Undead are making a gap there for themselves. And they're going to knock down on that side. So now they're coming in from behind. And the ghouls are going to box them in from the front. So the Skaven looked like they might have had the gap, but it got closed up pretty quickly. And yeah, here comes the mummy. Oh, just placed that gigantic obstacle right in front of Spot. Even if Spot could get through, he's now got his own player just lying there. The snowball is just lying out in front. Oh, and now one of the Skaven have rolled out there and tripped one of the ghouls coming through. Alright, Rat Ogre's going to get up. He's going to knock the ghoul back. Going to create a gap. Oh, you know, Cranium Basher seems to be like Snowball's arch rival. They keep kind of going up against each other. Oh, here we go. We're not, well, anyway, he seems to be the one getting injured a lot. Oh! Oh, and he was trying to do a block and knocked down. So, without Spot having made it, he probably should have just gone ahead and Spot should have just made a run for it. I mean, he does have 3 there that are trying to trip him. And looks like he was trying to make a little bit more of a gap. Didn't work out, and now the Undead are just going to cave in on them. This is kind of like in any kind of zombie story. They kind of get around them, and the hero becomes stunned right where they are. Oh, but they did manage to take the mummy down as he went down. So Spot and Tom Cruise are lying on the ground. Oh, Tom Cruise is taken out. So that actually is somewhat of a win, but a little too late in the game. There's only 2 turns left. The ball is loose right next to the Rat Ogre. Can the Rat Ogre pick it up and go in for a touchdown? No, he cannot. He is a wild animal. He ain't going anywhere. Ratatouille is staying where he is. The Skaven are standing up. And you know, they seem to have something about knocking down the opponent, but also knocking down themselves. And they're now injuring the Undead. I mean, if they had another half here, if there were 3 halves, the Skaven might actually have a game here. But because they are starting to really knock them down. But at the last turn of the game, oh, it looked like the zombie was going to fall back as well. And it looks like the Undead isn't even going to try for that ball. They're just going to knock around the Skaven a bit. It gets nasty here at the end sometimes. Oh, no, here they come in. No, one's going to somewhat go in. And now the white's going to go in there. Oh, and he's got the ball. And it's not enough time for them to get in for a touchdown, so they're just going to deny it to the Skaven. And it looks like they're going to try to deny them of their lives. In fact, actually, for the Undead, it's kind of fishing for them, because if they kill opponents, they get players themselves for free. And he's going to pull a wedgie on Snowball. And that is it for the game. It comes out to Nurgle's Leftovers 1, Water Sallies 0 in the Amagon Stadium, so I'm sure the fans of the Undead are very happy to have seen their players winning at home. Let's take a look at these statistics here. There you go. The Nurgle's Leftovers had it 50% of the time. Water Sallies only 31%. And, close yards running. 54 yards of Nurgle's Leftovers, 52 on Water Sallies. They just couldn't get it into their end zone. And, 4 casualties sustained, 3 casualties sustained. The Skaven are going to have a difficulty for a little while here, because some of their players were injured for multiple games. It looks like Nurgle's Leftovers got a lot of points there, and Water Sallies got a little bit less, but Snowball got actually a little bit more points. Although, what's interesting is Nurgle's Leftovers, their experience last season was so spread out, they had no star player. In fact, that's, I think, why it considered Water Sallies have a larger team value, is because a couple of their players have gained enough experience that they've gone up in level, whereas Nurgle's Leftovers, as well as they've done, and despite the fact they won last season, none of their players actually became second level. They all became close to second level, like just within a point or two of being second level, but none of them actually were. So what you saw on the field today was no second level characters on the Undead team, but like 1 or 2 on the Skaven team, but they were taken out early. Anyway, so that was it. There's your results for it, folks. Remember to continue to watch and subscribe to see more of these that'll be coming out. This is a season of 6 teams, so and it's round robin, so everybody has to play everybody. All right, that'll be it for now. Happy gaming, everybody, and enjoy.